All right. Hey everybody, 2018 shareholders. So I think it's the 19th. Just finished some work outside. It's 90 degrees out, so I'm gonna stop. But I wanted to just do a walk around the field and everything and show everybody what's going on this year and go from there. So I'm gonna actually turn the camera around for most of this. Hi, Farmer Trogg, if you don't know me, Chris, whatever. And now we're going to take a tour of the farm really quickly, show you what we got going, what we don't got going, and the plans for the year. All right, we're out front here. We don't have our 2 acres for this year's goats in yet, which would have been what we grew on last year. So every day we've been moving our guys and girls, from place to place to kind of mow the grass. Those are the parts over there for a new tunnel that we will be putting up late summer, hopefully by the end of October. More parts there. That's so that we can get, well, this year we're going to try to not have our low tunnels, so I don't have to break my back and crawl through there and harvest, and actually plant what we'd normally put in the low tunnels in our new tunnel, and then late winter greens will go in the old tunnel. But we got Daisy over here with her fresh greens. Hey Daisy! And letting the doggies have some time out, not tied up for a bit in the heat. Here are all our kids from this year. Hey guys! A couple of years we'll be milking them because they're all girls. We only had one boy born here this year, and he didn't make it because of cold weather. So this is one of 3 chickens who for the past month has been sitting on nothing. I shouldn't say the whole month. So they were sitting on rocks, and finally we decided we would put eggs under them, and so we're hoping in the next week or two that they will, those 2, and then there's one inside our old tub there, they will actually hatch, and there's the 3rd one, their own chicks. We've also got chicks inside and chicks that we hatched earlier in the year. So that's the deal. This is the old, the original field we planted in, and then the first field the goats were in. Last year, our 2 big pigs, our trial pigs, were put in here to see what they would plow and eat down themselves. Then this spring we got 6 little piglets and had them in here too. The big pigs are gone now because they get a certain size and that's it. The piggies are going to be down there at least for the summer. We are planting as soon as this heat ends, so hopefully tomorrow we're planting this whole field in sunflowers and turnips for the pigs and for markets and such over the winter or whatever. So that's the deal. Can we see all the chickens? No, we got 1 duck in here. Oh, there we go. We got a couple ducks hanging out. So I'm going to get in the tractor now, and we'll just do a drive around, stop here and there for things. We have pretty much most of our, all of our spring seedlings in. We got a few more seedlings in the shop. The seat is hot. Woo! We got a few seedlings in the greenhouse, but they're head lettuce for later on. Yeah, so let's take a drive. We're starting to gut our old refrigerator trailer. We've been using it to carry grain around since we built the permanent refrigerator in the shop, but I'd really like to have that in markets again. So I've started to gut that. We'll rebuild it. We're back over here. This is the original acre, and maybe next year, but definitely in 2 years, we will be back on here planting. So that means that at least this winter the pigs will be out here fertilizing and doing the stuff that they do, and then we will plant it up in come on, get out of the way, sorry, pause. Alright, sorry about that. So these are the areas the pigs were in over the winter. It's a chicken and duck yard. That's actually our one apple tree. Well, we found a new one out on the fence line, so we cleared that. But that's our apple tree where the last couple of years it's been upwards of 200-300 pounds of apples. Those two there, those are guineas. This is our first tunnel. I'll stop at the end. This is where our indoor tomatoes are. Before we get there. So the pigs were here for the winter. They weren't fenced in, but this is where their little huts were. And you can see, you know, we fed them any extras or bad squash or tomatillos or tomatoes, so we have all sorts of squash growing in their pen. Here's the little piggies wallow. You can see them out there. Hey, piggies! Hey! Yeah, they're scared of the tractor, but they love being in there. They're grazers, so they're a Cooney and American Guinea hog mix, and they've got this whole acre to eat. They just are loving it. So I'll stop up here at the end of the funnel. Just put this down. Oh, I'm getting off. So this is where we planted last 2 years because of machinery problems. We had to do 2 years in a row, but you see all the posts there and even back over there. That's where we're putting the new fencing up so that the goats have a couple acres they can be on and be rotated through. I am not going in here. I'm going to stick the camera in. Hopefully it won't fog up, but it's like 100 and some degrees in here. Oh, wave of heat. So you can see we've got the irrigation in there, and we've got the tomatoes. Once it cools down, we'll open this up a bit, and we will string them up. This here is going to be a lot of flowers this year. Like I said, we got the two acres over there. I'm going to drive up and around, so I'll pause this for a bit, and then we'll get over to where we're planting this year. So I'm just going to take a pit stop here. This is the 3rd acre that we planted over the years. We got the first 2 fenced. We'll fence this one in next, again for the goats. And then this is the 4th one. You can actually see here that bluish green color with the yellow flowers on it. That's one of the cover crops we planted here. You can see there's a crimson colored clover. You can see it better over here. They're not in full flower yet, but they're there. So the seed mix we put out here, while it didn't take that well, and that's because of the stupid spring, we have the yellow flowering things, that's rapeseed and clover out here, and also the regular occurring purple clover. We have that out here for the goats when they move in. You'll also see, I'm driving by here, and I'll show you more later, we have little areas of butterfly weed, milkweed here that we leave. If we don't have to mow it, we won't, because we have really seen an increase in the monarchs. There's a couple patches over there too, and then a couple that I've mowed around there. I'm trying to keep this cut back a little bit because throughout the summer we're going to try to get this grass and these weeds killed off and move our asparagus into a less weedy area. Over here, this is next year's garlic beds. We'll go through and till those every once in a while until October, when we put the garlic in for next year's garlic. And you can see in relation to where we are now. So this over here is where our asparagus is. There's a lot of, I mean, we're past asparagus season, but there's a lot of, any orange flag you see is the base of a plant, and then there's a lot of ferning going on. So we're going to dig that all up and try to get some better cleaned out beds over there. We put it in, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, early spring, and it just, didn't have time to do it right, so we're going to do that now. I'm going to go over here. We're going to drive by some garlic. You guys will be getting scapes in the first shares, probably for the first 4 weeks, if all goes well. When we get through a good pocket over here, I will stop. So you can see back into there, those curly cues, those are the garlic scapes. If we left them on there for weather, they'd start flowering almost like your allium or onions, and we don't want that. We want energy to go into the roots, the bulbs, not the tops. But these tops and flowers are just unbelievably good, so you'll be getting those in shares. That next tunnel is going to go up here. It's going to be in this space here. We're hoping to get 2 or 3 out here so we can do a full 4-year rotation in tunnels too, to keep the soil safe. We'll rotate in and out chickens as well. And this is our 1 acre here that we have planted for shareholders. It doesn't all get planted at once because there's things that get planted over and over. But I'm going to drive through here slow. These beds we just went through and did a till on a cultivation right before the 90 degrees this weekend. And not because we're going to plant them right away, but I like to do the stale beds and keep the weeds down. So we've got, out here, we've got hot peppers, tomatillos, ground cherries, cilantro and basil, lemon drop peppers, eggplants. Then we seeded, let's see, beets. This will be our second planting of beets on both sides. You can see actual pumpkins and cucumbers. Those are the pumpkins, those are the cucumbers on both sides. And then we've got lettuce that is slowly coming up there. Now these are earlier plantings. These are peppers and beans. Now we got to get through the beans. I'll explain why everything is so weedy right now in a bit, but we got beans and peas over there. The tomatoes are just looking absolutely wonderful. Keep driving through slowly. We've got a good variety out here. In fact, some of them even have fruit, although that's not something we want right now. It'll never ripen. Getting up here, we've got chard and kale up at the front of this here. And these are things that we've been harvesting for the last few weeks, taking to markets. And you guys will start seeing in shares too. We'll get more of that planted. This is one of our mesclun beds that we planted earlier in the year, but again, because of spring weather we had, other things came up before the mesclun, but now we've got it reseeded. It should be good. We've got lettuce here. Ooh, don't run that over. 1 lettuce bed. We've got radishes there. We've got carrots that I'm weeding out. We've got beets and beet greens, more beets. We've got cabbage, and then this weedy patch here, this is peas. And they're so short-lived, we're not going through because they're actually using the weeds as support right now. But we will be harvesting these as soon as the cooler weather comes tomorrow because they are ready to go into shares. So this is our first couple weeks of peas, and then we got later peas over there. Finally over here, we've got a whole acre here that we seeded in squash and pumpkins and a little bit of melon, I think, but I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look at the list. But it's summer squash, it's winter squash, and it's pumpkins. Marcy wanted to have some carving pumpkins, maybe have shareholders and kids come out and pick pumpkins, and then the rest of it is pie or squash, and it's coming up because of the weather we've had. And they're planted about tractor width apart, so we're hoping to be able to go through here. You can see right here, you've got, where is it? There and there are a couple plants, and we should be able to go right in between with the tractor there. Once we do that for a bit, we are hoping we'll be able to put some beans in there for later in the year picking and keep the weeds down. So that's the field. I was talking about explaining about why things are so late. Give me a sec. What we had this year was really good planting weather in that we didn't have any late frost. So like the tomatoes and the peppers, eggplants, they all loved going in. Oh, look at that. Look at the rainbow chard there. Ooh, yummy. And you can see our carrots. But again, all this was planted at the beginning. No, all of these seeds were put in at the mid to late April. The problem is it never really warmed up that much, but it wasn't cold either. So what we got was just not a lot of germination right away on the seeds. And so we are late in a lot of things there. But we're working on it, you know, with this heat on and off in the rain. Everything's popping. It's just we got to catch up from the spring. So we got that. No problems. We're just pointing out what's going on in the field. And the only issue we think we might see is that first little bit here until the tomatoes, well, not till the tomatoes, till the beans and the cukes and the squash start fruiting up, which, you know, will be the end of June. The boxes will be a lot more greens than anything else, but hey, that's what we should eat, right? That's the deal. First week shares of this week, and if you're getting this, that means I've worked out all of the logistics for deliveries, and it looks like it's going to be a great year. Even if there's flooding or drought, we've got irrigation and cover this year, so hopefully, not that last year's tomatoes were bad, but you know, we should be good. And man, we've already started canning, preserving for winter, because we've taken a lot of radishes and pickled them, and strawberries that we're getting were freezing and turning into jam already. So, oh yeah, and of course we've got those cherry trees over there that have just come into ripe fruit this week, so we're freezing those all up too. But that's the deal. Just wanted to go over everything with the 2018 shareholders. I know it was long, but it's detailed, so I didn't get into the greenhouse, but there's not much in there. It's just that those head lettuce plants I was talking about that'll go on the ground here in a week or two. That's the deal. I'll see everybody this week, or, you know, whenever. So, that's all. Bye-bye.